Okay.
Hi everyone, I'm back from the dead.
She literally is.
Oh my god, I had COVID like so badly.
Happy Halloween!
It was actually very scary, honestly.
I know. I was so nervous for you.
My boyfriend had to call 911. Like it was really scary.
Do you like want to tell that story for a little bit before we start?
I mean, yeah, I guess we're really going for spooky vibes today.
I mean, it is almost Halloween, so
it
yes.
is. So basically, I was like severely malnourished. I wasn't eating, and then
but like it wasn't because Barry wasn't feeding her.
He was trying.
Emily chose not to eat.
Nothing sounded good. It was like super. I had a migraine. I've never had a migraine in my life, and so I was like, I'm dying. Like something horrible is happening to me. And so then, I slept all day. It was like day 3, and then I woke up at like 9 p.m. I went to pee, and then when you pee, like your blood sugar like goes down, like because you're like.
I didn't know that. This is.
I know. Here I am, Emily MD. So basically, like your blood sugar goes down, like everything, your body. I don't know. You're just losing nutrients in that moment, and so then. When you stand up, like you become lightheaded. And so I stood up. I didn't realize I was becoming lightheaded. And then I washed my hands and I turned off the light. And when I turned off the bathroom light, everything went black and I couldn't see. I couldn't like stand really well. I was like trying to like find anything to like turn the light back on.
Your brain was aware of all this?
My brain was aware, but I was like shutting down. Like I was almost about to faint.
Oh my god.
And then Barry heard me like struggling in the bathroom, so he came and got me and he was trying to talk to me, but I wasn't responding. But I could hear him, but I just couldn't respond. And so then he called 911 and like they came, but I'm okay.
Thank God, because I almost lost the love of my life.
And we almost lost Janice is like, I almost lost this podcast, so.
Me. I'm the real victim
here. But it was funny because, like, I was out of commission. Like, I'm on my phone all the time.
She responds to me seconds.
I was not on my phone. I wasn't on social media. Like, I was out. And Jan was struggling.
Okay, to be fair, then I started texting Barry.
Yeah.
And Barry was like giving me the play-by-play, like, Janice, I've never had to call 911 before. I'm like, Barry, I'm so sorry. Let me know if you need anything. I was like, Barry is going to be Emily for the next 3 days.
Yeah, so we had a good conversation, but before we get into this confrontational conversation,
hi, I'm Janice.
Hi, I'm Emily.
And this is 4 years later, where
we talk about the unglamorous parts of being in our mid-20s as Asian American women all 4 years after college.
I feel like this is definitely a special episode because you wouldn't ever think like the unglamorous would involve COVID.
Yeah, but it really was.
It really has. And I'm going to pull out my phone because I basically didn't speak to Emily for like 3 or 4 days. So it was a few weeks ago. If you realize the aesthetics of our social media has changed, that's because I took over. And that was a whole other thing. Like, I am not good with that. And I couldn't ask Emily. I had to make all our business decisions.
Yeah, I was out cold.
And I was so sad and alone. Then all of a sudden one day Emily texts me. And then I texted her back, please get better. Please get better soon so you can text me every day in all caps. Emily goes, thank you, Jan. Jan, don't you call April, our other friend, like 2 hours a day. She makes me sound insane. And I was like, it's so lonely without you. And then I go, not every day. She goes, isn't your mom there too? I'm like, you make me sound so clingy. She goes, you are LOL. And we continue to talk about how clingy I am, but really I'm not.
I don't know. I feel like it was a good conversation that we had because it prompted Janice to really take a good look within and see like the dynamics of our friendship, because I feel like clingy is a word I would use to describe you. Like, let's be real. Like, a lot of texting, a lot of communication. You couldn't go a couple days without talking to me.
How do you know that? You were gone.
I was fine.
I was thriving for the past 3 days.
You were barely surviving.
I handled our social media account and our podcast and just made all the business decisions. I think I was fine.
No, I think business-wise, you were superb, and I'm so proud of you for
Emily's
taking
like
over.
so glad she got COVID because she's like, finally
my break.
I can finally tell Janice that she's been super clingy, and maybe this was the whole plan.
Maybe it was my entire plan the whole time
to get COVID so that
I don't
she
have to talk
could
to
shut me
Janice
up.
all the time. But okay, I feel like in some ways, like, we are reliant on each other. Like, we're each other's like closest friend, and like we're always in communication, like mostly about the pod, but also for our lives. But I feel like you are a little bit more.
I would agree.
clingy.
I
Yeah.
would agree. You
Mhm.
know, like there are 3 attachment styles people say, and I think usually this might probably go with like romantic relationships.
Okay.
But I think for us, I'm definitely an anxiously attached person.
Okay. Do you want to go into like what that means?
So we're fully prepared. Knowing that I am an anxiously attached person, I'm trying to fix myself, better understand myself.
Book! Janice reads.
So if this doesn't make us credible as a podcast, I don't know what does. Okay? I'm reading it. There's like annotations, whatever.
Janice proving she can read.
Okay, so let's go through the attachment styles and then self-diagnose ourselves because we're very good at that.
Mm-hmm.
Secure people feel comfortable with intimacy and are usually warm and loving. Anxious people crave intimacy, are often preoccupied with their relationships, and tend to worry about their partner's ability to love them back.
Ooh.
Avoidant people equate intimacy with a loss of independence and constantly try to minimize closeness.
Yikes.
So, I think with that being said,
yeah,
I definitely am someone that is like leaning towards anxious. I think I understand.
Leaning.
Okay,
like, how much leaning? Like all the way, or like?
Can we not make me sound psychotic, please?
No, but I'm like, I am anxiously attached.
You
for
are
sure.
Okay, how about let's talk about you for a second?
Let's move the conversation. Okay, so you're anxiously attached to me, and then
I love saying that. She's like, someone's obsessed with
Janice is obsessed with me, and then I am obsessed with my boyfriend. Very. I would say like today I am in the secure area of attachment. But when we first started dating, I was very anxiously attached, and it got really bad because I was like, we would hang out on the weekends, like, because we lived on opposite sides of LA.
Okay,
so we would always
like once a week.
Yeah, I guess for the weekend. So I'd leave on Friday, get there on Sunday, leave on Sunday. But we had to start making like more time during the week because I just couldn't handle it. Like those 5 days were like purgatory for me.
What do you mean you couldn't handle it, Emily?
like after he would leave, he would like take the long way usually to take me home. Barry was always a gentleman. He always picked me up, even though if we were like going to his apartment, like he always picked me up. And then so he could like spend more time. We could like drive back and stuff. He dropped me off back home, and like by the time we're like getting off of the 10, I'm crying. Like I am crying thinking about the fact that I'm not gonna be able to see him for like 5 days. So what he'd normally do is he'd feel really bad, and then he'd be like, "Do you want to take another lap around the block?" And
That's
I was
so
like,
sweet.
I know. So he'd like, "Let's go get Taco Bell," and he wasn't even like wanting Taco Bell, but it was like the closest fast food.
But the fact
So
that
we
he
go,
wanted to hang out with you,
he entertained my anxiously attached behavior for sure. Probably a little bit too much, but so then we go and we get a snack, and then he'd be like, "Okay, but after we get the snack, it's done. Like you're going home." And I'm like, "Okay, fine, like I guess." But I would always be a mess. I'd have to like figure it out because I had like 3 roommates at the time, so I'd have to like wipe my tears, like walk in the door. But it was really, really bad. And then even like Janice and I went out on Thursday night. Which was really fun. And then, but it was like this special event, so Janice only got like a ticket for me to go and not Barry. And so Barry stayed home that night. He like played it really cool. He was like, "Oh no, I'm gonna go to sleep early." And
he was like, "I can't wait until you guys leave so I can go to bed." He verbatim said that.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Barry, but you love hanging out with us."
I know. He really does.
He
like
really
we all
does.
3 hang out a lot. And so then when we got next day, we woke up, Janice spent the night, so we were all 3 there. And then the morning he was like, Yeah, I was like pretty sad. Like,
I know, it made me feel really sad to hear that.
He was
Okay,
like,
but
I wish I'd went.
I had a question.
Oh yeah.
When like you guys didn't see each other for 5 days,
Mm-hmm.
what was like going on through your head? Or like when you guys are in a fight,
Mm-hmm.
did you ever be like, okay, I have to like overcompensate, like I have to make things okay, or like, you know, because I feel like that's very anxiously attached, where you're like constantly try to make sure that they are validating you and that they love you and that they want to be with you.
That is so true. I think I had those feelings or like those thoughts, not necessarily when we were like separated, but like it was more like when we were talking about like deeper topics, and I would like be like, wait, but like I need to understand how you're gonna show me that you would care for me. Like in our last, specifically in our last podcast episode we just filmed, like I talked about my parents dying and stuff, and that has always been something that I would base his love off of. Like, how can he best support me when I'm feeling depressed and like when I'm grieving and stuff. And I guess maybe that was one way that I was anxious, where I was like, okay, is he gonna say the right thing? Is he gonna be able to like really show that he like loves me through all of this?
Okay, I get that. It's like you've now experienced loss, and you are afraid that like you're going to be with someone that when you most need them or when you're most alone, that person runs away.
Yeah, kind of.
I think I'm the same way, but instead of like asking this person, if I'm dating someone, I'm asking that person, I'll just like have little tests. Not even tests, but
Professor
like
Jan, class in session.
When something happens, like with my family or when it's my work, I'll try to be like more vocal and emotional, and then see like how this person would react to that situation.
Yeah.
And if they're not like really validating me or like giving me what I need, sometimes I'm like, oh, when something gets hard, are they gonna run away? Because I get insecure.
Yeah.
And I'm someone that always needs like someone to keep texting me. Like, oh yeah, he's interested. She's interested.
Yeah.
To make sure like, oh yeah, she does like to be my friend.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that validates me, and that's like I need to always make sure that we're okay, basically.
I feel like, okay, sorry to cut you off.
I was just gonna say that might be different for you.
Well, I was gonna say for you, like, yes, texting is a good example, but I think you crave it in other ways too, like physical touch as a way to assure someone that like you still love them and stuff. Would you say though, between the two, that it's more affirming to hear it verbally or like written out than it would be to like feel it, like someone touching your arm or giving you a hug or something?
I feel like a hug, especially if you're not always seeing each other, that's really hard, right?
Yeah.
Like if you and Barry aren't seeing each other for 5 days, that one hug is going to be 1 second, and it doesn't last as long as like if someone was saying it to you in words on a text like every day or every other, whatever it is. I also think acts of services go a long way for me. It's like, because that proves that this person knows me and understands me without me having to say anything at all.
Right. See, that's where I differ for sure, where Barry is very acts of service, and he does so much for me.
Yeah.
But I don't always like equate that to love right away. It like takes me a second. I am wanting words of affirmation. I want people to like lay it out, like, no, I'm so grateful for you, or like, I love you because of this. And like, I think it makes me feel more secure when he can, or like when anyone can like really concisely explain like why I'm important to them, or like why something matters that I did. And it's something that I searched for with Barry for a while. We're still working on it. But like, especially in terms of like my parents, the loss and stuff, where I'm like, I want you to say like, I'm so sorry that you're feeling this way, but I love you, or like I'm supporting you. And it's something like, he's just not a words guy. He's more like, he can give me a hug, and that's how I'm okay, like I can do a hug, like I'll feel it from the hug. But really I would love and feel the most secure if like anyone would be able to just like say it.
I think a lot of people like, for their love languages, they do what they want someone else to do.
Yeah.
But really, you need to think about like what that person actually needs. I know you guys don't text a lot because you live together and you see each other at the end of the day. But like, is that something he texts you when you were dating? Do you wish he did that?
I wished he did it. I think he didn't know what to say. He tried. He definitely tried. Like, he would I think what guys tend to do when girls are looking for support is they always are trying to like look on the bright side and
or fix things.
or fix it. And we're like, I don't want you to fix my problem. I'm not asking you to solve my life issues. All I want from you is support and love.
Yeah.
But they don't get that.
No.
They don't understand. Like, all you have to do is just say, I'm really sorry. I love you. What can I do to help you?
Yes.
Done. I'm
or like
cured.
I'm really sorry. How you're feeling is totally valid.
Yeah.
I'm here for you.
That's it.
I'm on your side.
Exactly.
Even if we're psychotic.
Yeah. Like, that's all it needs to be. It doesn't need to be this huge, drawn-out solution. Like, and I think that's something I've learned over time, because when I was younger and with some people in my life that dealt with depression and stuff, like, I didn't get how to respond still. I was the fixer.
Empathy, I think you need to learn empathy through your experiences, or else it's really hard.
Yeah, and I think for men especially, because it's so, like, still, I guess, like, stigmatized to feel emotional and stuff, like, they're still figuring out those emotions within themselves. They don't even know how to help someone yet, right?
That is huge. But I also probably think it's like they're probably used to fixing things, right? Like,
yeah,
this emotion of hers will go away if it can change. Like, if I can make this situation better. And so immediately, like, when there's a problem, I used to do that too. When someone came to me with a problem, I'd be like, did you try this? Did you try this? And this makes me so frustrated. Like, stop. I don't, like, want to talk. Like, right now, I just want to sit in my emotions, right? And that's really hard to understand.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Okay. But we were talking about anxiously attached, and then we got, like, sidetracked. But I have to say, even though I am anxiously attached to Emily, and Emily's giving me so much shit for it, Emily's anxious attached too, not only in her relationship, but also at work.
I've recently discovered that. Yeah, I really am attached to my coworkers.
You totally are, to a point where it's like she's trying to use it against me.
Okay, so hear me out. So, like, my coworkers are really fun, and I feel so lucky to have them.
Shut up, Emily.
But you know, at work, like, I don't know, you really, I don't know how to describe it, because it sounds bad to say this, but, like, I want to be cool at work.
You know? No, I get it.
My first order of business is not my job. Yeah, I want to be the fun person at work.
You want everyone to look at you and be like, oh my God, Emily and her team are so cool. I want to be in their friend group.
Call me a personality hire. I don't mind. Like, I just want to be liked at work. And so I feel like I'm constantly wanting to make sure that, like, I maintain my work relationships. So, like, because my group is so fun. We do things all the time. So I always just want to, like, you know.
And I think you're a person that really, like, wants to be in the know at work.
I am.
And so when you aren't going to lunch with them or sitting with them, and they come back and they all have a new inside joke, you're like,
I'm crushed. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
But you're not that way
at
work.
Some would say I'm avoidant, but I think I'm just independent. Like, I am so used to eating at my desk.
Yeah.
Or just, like, at work, I want to do my work. I mean, I want to socialize with people too. Yeah. But I'm so exhausted that, especially at lunch, I'm like, I just want to be by myself. Like,
I'm ready to get out. Alone. Yeah. No, that's fair. It's like your decompressing time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I used to feel so bad for people that sat alone at lunch. Like, in middle school, I saw this kid. He was sitting alone eating, and this always broke my heart. And so one day, I don't know why, I decided to, like, go and sit next to him.
Really sweet.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But I don't think he thought that, because he turned around and looked at me like I was insane. And he was like,
you're in my space. Like, get out.
And I was talking to him. I was like, how's your day going? Whatever. He's like,
Oh.
And not giving me anything to work with. So I just, like, stood up and I was like, well, it's nice talking to you. And I left.
Yeah. So that is the difference, right? He was independent. And, like, kind of like you are independent now at work.
Yes.
For
like,
lunch.
He wanted to be alone.
Yeah.
And I invaded his space.
Yep.
And now I get it, because at work, I'm like, I'm done talking to you.
Like, no one come near me.
Yeah.
You take walks during lunch, don't you?
I do.
Yeah. Like, you'll take a little walk around the campus.
Yeah. To just, like, have a breather and, like, because your mind is always going.
Yeah.
But definitely, I think I moved, like, at work, I'm independent, and I'm starting to realize that I do need time to decompress, and it's not weird.
Yeah.
My
Mm-hmm.
dad used to tell me he'd eat lunch out alone. I'd cry for him. I'd be like, Dad, Dad.
Oh my God, Janice.
And like he used to have these like interviews on TV, and back when I thought the TV was like real, I would like touch him on the screen.
Oh,
I'd be like, I'm
so
here. Like, like you can actually hear me. My mom's like, Janice, he can't hear you.
Oh
Like,
God. Wait, I was on TV. That's cool.
It was cool. It was for a brief. Yeah, it was local news, so
okay.
it was fine.
That's
but
still
like,
cool.
I was so sad.
Yeah.
And like I just couldn't shake the image of my dad eating alone. Like I thought he was crying eating alone.
God,
he's like, I really enjoy it, Janice. And I'm like, stop saying that.
I feel like I'm gonna become like the independent person at work.
Are you?
When I have a family. Because you know what I think about? My team is so young. Like none of us are married. Like none of us have kids. One person has kids. But like when I get to the point where I have to like pick up my kids from school, I might have to leave in the middle of the workday. Like lunch is probably going to be used to do like mom things, scheduling things, or like taking care of things like at home for the family. But right now I have time to, you know, mess around at lunch and do whatever I want.
Yeah, and I think when your focus is different too.
Yeah, I agree.
But that's not the real avoidant, I feel like.
Yeah, no.
I feel like avoidant is when you're trying to be so independent to a point where you want to like compartmentalize your life and you can't truly share your emotions.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's because of some childhood trauma.
Yikes.
You know, like maybe something was going on in your family, but I guess for most Asians, we could probably speak to this where it's like emotions are not cool.
Yeah.
In the Asian family, like nobody talks about how they're feeling, what they're going through. It's just like you're either happy or you're bragging or that's it.
And that's it. Yeah. And I think we learned so much from like observing our parents doing that. Like when my dad was dying and my mom was taking care of him, she never cried. Even like at the funeral, I was like sobbing. It was so loud. I was so loud. And my mom was stone cold. Like just like
because
they're watching.
Showing emotion almost looks like you're weak.
You're weak, yeah. So you learn
like you're
that.
Too sensitive.
Yeah. So like I feel like that's why you and I both, when we do, or the only time we show this avoidant attachment is with our family at home.
Yeah. I think I definitely try to be the strong one.
Yeah.
Because I want my siblings to like look up to me. I want to be a good role model.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't show failure. I can't show that I'm sad or anything because then it makes me vulnerable.
Right.
Then they can use it against me.
Yeah.
Then they can whatever.
Exactly.
But now I guess I am so too in control to a point where I've lost all control. Like tears anytime. Just now I can't even. I'm just like so easily overwhelmed.
Same.
There's too much swept under the rug.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially like when it comes to even small arguments at home. Like I'm thinking of something from 2011, you know, that happened or whatever. You get triggered easily by like all of these things. But
that's such a good word. It's like triggering.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you're talking about like when you're just talking to your family, I think even if it's like the overall message is nice or whatever, something they say could easily like upset you.
Yeah.
And you don't know why.
Oh, not can. It does easily upset both of us. But that's, you know, that's another exploratory subject for a different time. I feel like in terms of like relationships, I don't think I have experienced like super avoidant like tendencies in relationships, not for myself at least, and actually not really with the people that I'm interacting with, but I have seen it with like friends, and it's so crazy to me to be like to watch them like live out that relationship, like so avoidant, like so like trying, or like they're telling me about someone they're with that's really avoidant too, and I feel so bad because I'm like, we can see what's going on here, right? Like this person's obviously has some baggage, right?
What are like some signs? Because I feel like as an anxiously attached, in the book, it says that anxiously attached people attract like avoidant people, and that's like exactly what I'm trying not to do, right? I want someone to be able to read my verbal and nonverbal cues. I'm quoting the book.
Oh my God, amazing.
I know. I'm like, where are my glasses?
Yeah. I think the biggest way to tell is when you're ready for like a committed relationship and the other person doesn't want to commit yet. Because committing like that, right, would show like, oh, okay, yeah, like
you're emotionally vulnerable.
Yeah. So they're trying everything they can to not be more and more invested, right?
That makes sense. And I think, I used to see being emotionally vulnerable as like a sign of being weak because of our background,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But now I kind of see it as a strength because it shows like you can communicate.
Yeah.
But not only can you communicate, you can like you can trust someone else completely or like allow someone into your world.
That's a good one, yeah.
But it's scary, but you're doing it.
No, yeah, for sure. I think it's a huge red flag if we can't speak on like more vulnerable topics or like get a little emotional in conversation and stuff. I'm like, this might not work out, especially as someone that on the brink of tears 24/7.
Oh, now you're on the brink of tears.
I'm always on the brink of tears.
Okay, where were the tears when you didn't speak to me? Did you cry? Did you think of me?
I think I was crying from like hacking up, like coughing and stuff.
I was really busy trying to survive.
I really was. I was hanging on for dear life, like trying to cough and stuff. That's when I did cry. But unfortunately, yeah, you weren't top of mind for me during that time.
You would have been top of my mind.
I know. I would have come to bring you some stuff probably.
I know.
Yeah.
But I think one thing I'm trying to learn is, like I want to be more secure, but also like recognizing that I am sometimes anxiously attached. I don't think I'm like the most anxiously attached person ever.
No.
I'm definitely leaning there though.
Leaning.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think part of it is like finding someone that's not only secure but understands that, right?
Yes.
Like I don't have to completely fix myself.
Yeah, no.
I'm going to try, but I also need to embrace it.
I think there's a good balance for both, right? Like being a little bit anxiously attached isn't necessarily a bad thing, but like make sure that there are some parts of a relationship where you're like very secure.
Yeah. Especially when that person isn't texting me all the time. Like I just need to trust that our relationship is good.
Solid. Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
And like I think especially when I'm alone and I'm lonely, I'll like be more anxiously attached. Like I'll cling on more because I'm like, oh, this person's slipping away, or like, oh, I'm not trying hard enough. But I just need to reshift my focus to like something else that I'm doing, like going on a walk or like reading a book.
I think that is such a good point, and like that is probably the main reason why I was able to survive in the early days of dating Barry, because I lived with 3 other people. So because I wasn't alone ever, like I was able to shift my focus from him, and like I can focus on my roommates and like whatever they're doing in their lives, and like that kept me sane. But if I lived all by myself, like I don't know what I would have done. I would have like spiraled probably.
Okay, here's like an off-topic question, but you just kind of brought it up. What is the difference then between like being distracted and working on yourself, right? Because like I love noise. When there's noise, I'm distracted and my thoughts are gone.
Janice always has music on or TV on.
Exactly.
Always.
And it helps me because then I'm like, oh, I'm not anxiously attached anymore. I'm secure.
See, that's distracted, and I totally get that. I think if you're like actually working on yourself, then you're probably like, oh, that's hard. So I was gonna say, oh, you work on your hobbies,
but like you were with your roommates.
Yeah,
and so that's like, oh, I can go back to them and they can entertain me.
Right. I feel like it just needs to be intentional. Like you're intentionally doing an activity where you're like, I'm gonna practice like finding joy in doing things alone. Whereas for you, your intention with the music is to distract yourself.
Okay, but sometimes like like when it's Taylor Swift's midnight release, and I'm like, this is not a distraction. This is work.
That is work. That's so true. Every time I'm turning on Lavender Haze, I'm fucking falling, man. It's so bad.
But like,
that's true though. I think, but that's your intention.
That is. You're right.
You're listening to it because you want to cry.
But then, so I think really for me, it's like, how am I okay sitting alone and like being in silence?
Are you okay with being alone, being in silence?
I'm trying to be. Something I think I really want to work up to do, I don't think I'm ever going to do this, is eat by myself. Like, take myself on a date. On TikTok.
You don't do that?
Do you?
Wait, I thought you've told me you've done that in the past. No?
Where?
I don't know. I made that up.
I mean, like, I will. Okay, here are some acceptable things that I would do alone. Like, go to a park and read a book by myself, or like go to a movie theater and watch a movie by myself.
Oh,
Like, there are things
wow.
I probably do alone, like take myself on a date.
Mhm.
But I will not go to like the bougiest brunch place
No.
where everyone's hanging out with all their friends, and I will sit there alone and eat.
But it doesn't have to be the bougiest brunch. What if you went to like Panera or something?
Okay, see, but yeah, Panera is where a lot of people alone also sit, so I'll feel okay doing that, you know?
Maybe we should try it. Maybe we should both pick like I don't know if this is cheating, but at the same time we do it, and then we can meet up after and we could talk about.
Wait, I kind of want to do that.
Okay.
But it has to be a place where it's like, you know, like a Starbucks, everyone sits alone.
Yeah. So it has to be like a nicer place where like people are going. Yeah.
Like, you know, would you go to Bestia by yourself?
No, I wouldn't.
You see?
Yeah.
So like that is something that I feel like would show me, oh my God, I'm secure.
Yeah. So maybe these are some goals for us going into 27.
Oh, I can't wait. And then I'm not going to be attached to Emily
Yeah.
at all.
We're going to
And
work
she's
on our
gonna be
anxiously
really
attachment
sad.
styles. Yeah.
Anyways, I would love to hear what everybody else is.
Mhm.
I'm sure most of us, no, I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, well, let us know where you fall and your attachment styles. Head to our TikTok, head to our Instagram, YouTube.
Oh my God, YouTube!
Watch
YouTube
us
is
on YouTube!
out!
Yes! If you haven't already, please check us out there. Leave us a comment. And yeah, thanks for listening.